So welcome to the second level type in Rico, the apartments. The apartments are my favorite level type because they have the most unique layout, though I'm not sure anyone who's played this game has ever lived in an apartment because these apartments are enormous and have terrible, terrible layouts. Nobody would want to live in these apartments. It is a roguelike though, so I'm just poking fun. Anyway, the apartments, and when you want to leave, you have to head out into the middle and get in the elevator. This actually makes the apartments the easiest level type to vacate from. Since the enemies only spawn in the apartments and not in the elevator, it's very easy to run to the elevator and escape. Though sometimes enemies will get stuck in the elevator because they'll run in there trying to get to you. Now the thing with the apartment level type also is that each room has so many doorways leading to other rooms. Now, this can be the case in other map types as well, but it's more prevalent in the apartment, is that each room is going to have so many doors, especially the living room and kitchen area. Doors that can easily be breached by enemies when you don't expect it. Yeah, exactly like this. Exactly like that. So, something that's very important to mention about this game's core mechanics is that in slow motion, you take less damage from bullets, and in slow motion, you don't really have to worry about recoil. Recoil in this game, when you're not in slow-mo, is massive, which is why you want to invest in weapons that kill enemies quicker, because the longer you're pressing fire, the less accurate your shots are going to get, because the recoil is insane. This is why even if, say, using an assault rifle may be easier, you might still want a shotgun. Because even though the shotgun is not going to be as easy to kill enemies with, when you're outside of slow-mo, you only have to fire once or twice to get rid of an enemy. But with the standard assault rifle, you're going to have to hold down the trigger a bit, which is going to cause recoil and make it very hard to see what you're doing anymore. Another important thing to keep in mind when choosing guns is the rate of fire and clip size. Guns with a small clip size make it way harder to... Oh god. That defuse bombs warning gives me severe anxiety. So a mechanic in this game is that sometimes when you breach a room, you will find bombs, and you have to defuse all the bombs on the floor before they blow up, or you just die. The mission's over. And since this is a roguelike, that means if you're playing in case mode, the main mode, you lose the whole game, and you start from the beginning. And aside from knowing the bombs are on the same floor, there's no way to tell where they are. And since some of the rooms are locked behind shutters, and you need to break terminals to open them, that makes trying to find all the bombs in time incredibly stressful. Especially when playing methodically is generally the safest option in this game. Every time I have died in case mode, every single time I have died in case mode, it was because of these fucking bombs. Late in the game, the bombs, there are like 5 of them on one floor. It is insane. And the bombs make sure that you cannot be methodical or safe, because the timer gives you just enough time to get all the bombs on the floor. The bombs are the biggest reason that Rico is a challenging roguelike. Because whenever you see that defuse bombs warning pop up, the entire floor, every room you haven't breached, could have those bombs. And you have to rush to find them before you get blown the fuck up and have to start the whole game over. Now, there are ways out of this situation. There are ways out. You could leave the level unfinished. You could head back to the start of the level and leave it unfinished. But then you can't come back because, the level fucking blew up. But that's an option, is, if you can't make it to the bombs in time, but you're closer to the exit, you can still run to the exit and leave before the timer counts down all the way. It's just that level's locked off forever now, and you have to choose a different path to the finish. The thing is, though, that in case mode, the bombs become more and more frequent the further you get in. Presumably because the developer knew that the bombs were the most challenging thing about the game. So, yeah, it's not uncommon to see this late in the game. You just defused some bombs on the first floor, but now there are more bombs to defuse on the second floor. Except late in case mode, it's 5 or 6 bombs to defuse. And I don't want to make it sound like I'm talking bad about the game. This is the idea, is that these bombs are going to stress you the fuck out. And encourage you to play much less carefully than you normally would because you're stressed the fuck out. And it really enhances the core design of the game, which we haven't really talked about. The core design of the game is pretty simple. The idea is you enter a room and see how clearly you can read the room, where the enemies are most likely to be, and how quickly you can kill them before the slow-mo goes away. It's sort of like a micro game, you know, from WarioWare or Game Soup, but extended into a whole game. The idea is how quickly can you read this room and kill all the dudes and not get trapped in the corner and shot to death like that. And what the bombs do is they make you read the rooms faster. So you can take your sweet time waiting at choke points if there are no bombs to worry about. But when there are bombs, you have to read the rooms and kill the enemies at light speed, or your ass is getting blown up. Every time I have died in case mode, I have died either to a bomb explosion or right next to a bomb, trying to defuse it while people were shooting me in the ass. The bombs are the biggest reason Rico is so difficult. This is not a game you relax with, especially in case mode. In quick mode, you know, you do one level and that's it. You don't really lose anything. In case mode, you just spent 40 minutes trying to get to that level. So, you know, your ass is fucking terrified of those bombs. When you see that diffuse bomb objective pop up, it's time to freak out. And it's also time to get good. If you're not good at the core gameplay, those diffuse bomb objectives are going to murder you every single time. And even though I hate those bombs and they terrify me and are the cause of my death every time, I still appreciate them because they're a decent extension of the core game design, which is, you know, seeing how quickly you can read a room. When you're defusing bombs, you just have to do it faster. How quickly can you read a room? The game asks, and then bombs appear and it says, well, I hope it was quick enough because now's the time to find out. And this would not work even half as well if Rico was not a roguelike. The focus on quickly reading rooms only works because each room is different and has a different enemy layout. That means your skill has to come from reading rooms itself, not memorizing the rooms or potential room layouts or potential enemy placement. You have to be good at quickly seeing what's in the room you just breached, where the enemies are most likely to be placed at, and where you need to stand in the case slow-mo wears down before you kill everyone. It's a lot of information to process at once. Each time you breach a door, it's like you're starting a new micro game. That's really the most flattering thing I think I can say about this game, is that each time you breach a door in this game, it's like you're starting a new micro game. Except for when those bombs appear, then everything, it's time to get fucked. You're just fucked. It's all over. You're ruined. Your life is ruined. But yes, the bombs. Fear the bombs. The bombs make sure that you're just not all talk. The bombs are there to ensure that you're good at the game. If you're not good at the game, then you've lost. As soon as the bombs appear, it's over. It's game over time. Even if you are good at the game, sometimes it's game over time. Those bombs don't fuck around, man.